Hello, y'all from down the bayou. This is Father Joseph, and we're kicking off with episode number 3 this week. I have to say, this is probably by far the saddest week for me because I lost my Knights of Columbus sword. I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I gave a homily on that sword, and I had used it as a prop at Mass. One of our knights came to me and he said, "Father, that might have been my sword." I gave it back to him. Uh, Guys, I don't know what we're going to do, but I have two councils out here, one in Labodyville and one in Napoleonville, and I really need that sword. I don't care if I have to be a 4th degree knight. Can y'all help me find a way to get me a sword? And the reason is because I need it to protect myself. Father Matthew right now is not home. He is currently living in Belrose now, and I'm all by myself. He has a seminarian, and I'm by myself for the summer, and I need it for protection. Just putting it out there. Um, on more joyful news, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Beau and Lucy Barbier. They recently were wedded this past Friday, and we congratulate you, and also our prayers are with you as you continue the next journey in your life, the next chapter in your life, establishing a lifelong love for one another, and also for your children to come. And so our prayers are with you. On to Father Jewel. Father Jewel should be coming home this coming Sunday, and so at the time of the making of this video, which is right now Monday night, he should be coming home this Sunday. He's scheduled to come home June the 24th. And so I am really happy when he walks through that door because I miss him. He was in the hospital. If you haven't heard, he had a chest infection, and it kept him in the hospital for about a week. So continue to pray for him as he embarks on his journey coming back from India. I'd like to call to see if I can get some help with serving with distributing communion at Mass. And so I'm looking for some extraordinary ministers of communion who can help me distribute either the body or the blood of Christ at Mass. And so if you're interested, at all the Masses, I need people at all the Masses, because we're getting the same people to come up, and I really want more involvement than the same faces. And truly, whenever we have more involvement, this parish, these parishes rather, become your own, and you take ownership of that. And so on top of that also, looking for Eucharistic ministers, I'm also looking for some more PSR teachers, particularly at St. Philomena. And so if you can help out with either one of those at St. Anne Assumption, please contact Miss Kathy. And if you're at St. Philomena, please contact Miss Jackie Bailey. If you're hearing me sniffling, I'm so sorry. For 2 episodes in a row. In a way, it is my fault. We had a meeting tonight, and it was at a parishioner who have cats, and I'm allergic to cats. And so I've been sniffling, sneezing all evening now. So I am so sorry for that. But anyways, moving on. The LEDs, the track light in the church, it used to be white. It used to be really, really white. I noticed up in the chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, and the candelabras up front, they were like 2 different colors. And so we try to make it to where we try to match it with the all same colors now. And so it's nice to have matching things. I'm just putting it out there. The flooring committee meeting also took place this past week. And the concept of this came about just looking at the floor at Assumption. It's really old. From what I was told, it's between 30 to 40 years old. And we could use a little update right now. Because if it's a church that we're going to continue using, we need to maintain it to be not only a beautiful place, but also a sacred place that is worthy of worship. And so I'm putting this committee together in order that they can help me with the updates, the carpets in that church. To what extent we're still discussing about that. I don't know the fullest picture yet, but that's in the workings right now, just to let you know. And I lost my place. Hold on, guys. Okay. Okay. Bishop Robert Munch's 50th anniversary as a priest is coming up, and it's this coming Sunday. I should have put this in the previous video, but it didn't hit my mind until I looked at the calendar. So, wait, hold on. Yeah, that's right. So just to let you know, if you're watching this video from now until Sunday, that on Sunday, June the 24th, at 3 o'clock at St. Joseph's Cathedral in Baton Rouge, the bishop is going to be celebrating his 50th year as a priest. So if you can go, please attend that. But if you can't, please say a prayer for him, that his health may continue on as he continues to be our bishop until the next one comes. And also pray for the next bishop who is coming into our diocese, that he can continue to pick up where Bishop Munch is leaving, and also continuing to shepherd our community. And this past week, I had an emergency phone call, completely accidental by one of the parishioners, and I picked up the phone. Actually, I got a missed call, so I called the number back, and she said, "I'm so sorry, Father. I didn't mean to disturb you so late at night." I said, No, not a problem." And to be honest, I really enjoy little mistakes like that, because it's a way for me to connect with our parishioners, even if it's for like 2-3 minutes, in small mistakes like that, because otherwise I probably would have never talked to this lady at all. Anyways, again, if you need me anything that is emergency related, call the emergency phone number. That number is on our website, and it's also listed in the bulletin. And again, you let me decide whether it is an emergency or not. If it's not an emergency, I'll put it down as a to-do item to deal with later. But if it is an emergency, I'll find ways to help you resolve it and attend to it as soon as possible. And then 2 more things before we end the updates. The first is that we have a study on the Divine Mercy. So this study is going to be for 9 sessions total. It's going to take the place of the adult catechism, and it's going to take place every other Tuesday nights. So we will be having a short half-an-hour study on the Divine Mercy, and also a half-an-hour worth of discussion on it. So we're going to break into small groups and talk about the things that we heard and learned. So that's going to go on for 9 weeks, and that will begin on Tuesday, June the 26th at 6 p.m. at St. Anne Hall. In terms of location, I'm working with Father Matthew on this as we speak, because we want to vary up the location also, but want to make it centralized for our 5 parishes, because Father Matthew and I are going to team up and teach these classes. So just a note out there, we'll be having a study on the Divine Mercy coming up. And the last thing is that I recently found a set of very beautiful rosary, front pew of St. Anne Church. So if you have lost a rosary, come let me know. And it's a beautiful sterling silver rosary, very, very heavy. So it's probably very precious to someone who lost it. So if you did lose it, come talk to me. If you didn't lose it, please do not come and claim it. That is considered stealing, and well, you'll have to answer to God. So anyways, if you've lost it, come find me, and I will return it back to its rightful owner. Okay, so sorry. My gosh, this is terrible. Oh my goodness, cats. Okay. So for this week's little lesson, I was recently watching a YouTube video, and Larry King had asked Celine Dion, "How do you keep up with your voices all through these years? Like, how do you train it? Do you still keep up with it?" And Celine Dion says that she still has a coach. And Larry King said, "Really? You still have even at your level, you still have a coach?" And she said, "Yes." So I'd like to show you that quick video, and after the video, I'd like to give some reflection on it.
How do you keep the voice going? You do exercise, or how do you work that? I mean, do you...
I still have a coach.
Really?
I do have a coach. And
What does a coach do with you?
it's really boring.
Why do you need that?
It's a stretch. If you go and see a dancer stretching on the floor, you might think she's very flexible. Wow, she can really stretch that leg. But it's not choreography. It's not artistically beautiful. So and then you go on stage and you give it.
Give me a vocal warm-up. What do you do?
Well, like that.
This is before in the dressing room?
I do this for a few different ones, obviously, but it's just to pre, pre, pra, pro, pru, pro. It's very boring, but it's just like warming up.
So this is the insight that I got. Even for a celebrity, a professional, an expert in vocal performance like Celine Dion, she still has a coach. She still runs through all of these exercises on a daily basis. And so the insight here is this. As we progress on in our spiritual life, even the spiritual quote-unquote masters still have a spiritual director, someone who can help them sort through their spiritual discernments, their spiritual issues. And on the surface, it seems like as if these spiritual masters, their prayer life seems to glow and flow so smoothly. But what you don't see is actually the background of what's going on behind. The countless hours of sitting in prayer, the many days and weeks of going to Mass, almost the monotonous things that you and I don't see. But as we continue to work with our prayer life, we find that it flows very smoothly. And again, this is the stuff that you don't see, all the hard work that goes behind the scene. For example, artists who draw, who paint very well, on the surface, again, you see a beautiful painting, but what you don't see are the countless hours and days and months that these people put into practice, practicing the very basics of their strokes, trying out different colors, messing up. So all these hidden things are really the jewels of our spiritual life when you look at it. When you spend an hour in adoration, it might be nothing, but as you're putting in more of these adoration hours and you're expressing it through how you live your faith and other people see it, that's the jewel, that's the gold that people look for. And so my encouragement to all of us is, despite where we're at in life, whether we're a beginner at our prayer life or whether we have done it for so many years, that we continue doing all of the monotonous things in the background, because that is the thing that will allow our spiritual life, our physical life itself, to really blossom, that other people can see that we are a radiant source of light for our Lord, for his people. Amen.